Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first in a new series of the Accidental Psychic podcast. My name is Mark Bayerske, and from this moment on, I will be constantly making podcasts for you. This podcast is all about how to see the signs, how to see energy, how to heal yourself, how to bring magic into your life, and all the golden nuggets of truth that I have experienced over 20 years of this amazing field of work. So I welcome you all, and I want to first of all start by saying no matter where you are in your life, whether you're feeling on top of the world or whether you're feeling at the bottom, fallen, and there's nowhere else to go, can't see anything, doesn't matter. Everything is as it should be. In fact, the ones who are happy and strong sometimes need to work continually to keep that energy up. When you're on the floor and you've nowhere else to go and you don't know how to move forward, well, there's only one way, and that's up. So that's how I see it. But more so when we look at the bigger picture, when we step back from that pain and suffering, one day we'll look back and see that it was that particular moment that not only changed your life, but made you understand the whole point of this experience that we live in. Have a think about that for a while. Let that sink in. How do you ever learn how to ride a bike if you've never fallen? These things are never shown to us. And I think a lot of the times we walk a path where we're on our own, when we feel alone and when we're not walking with the crowds and when we're not in a state of fear or being caught up in the black screen. All those tricks that are used against us. Why? Because the path that we walk is truly one where we walk alone. And that in itself, the word alone, seems to have been hijacked. For when I hear the word alone, I hear joy. I hear a time for contemplation. I hear a moment of healing. When you are with your family and your friends and you're stuck in work and you're chasing the tail like a dog, then what are you doing? Getting sick, feeling sick, your emotions are getting worse, or at best, no time to even think about anything until the moment you do stop. And like many people, they crash. They crash hard and can take weeks, in fact, months, and sometimes years. How did we ever realize we got to where we have when we're on the floor or in a hospital bed? The body can only take so much. And the point being, this world never teaches us how to honor the spacesuit, the body temple, the gift that you are, the gift that you have decided to be the host. See, for me, I see life now as the bodysuit being one aspect, like a taxi driver taking care of his car. My body, I take care of it. It's the only one I've got. But inside that taxi, inside that bodysuit, is the real you. And through this podcast, I hope to help you identify, distinguish, see the signs, understand yourself and not the brain and the computer that you've been given to help you along this journey of memory and the things that we need for the body to do so we experience life. One of the things I always say is that we're all going to die. Of course we are. But there is no such thing as death. And if you fear death, then you fear life. So through this podcast, I hope to share with you moments where you realize that death is simply an illusion, a word that's been targeted, that's been used and abused. It's been hijacked. Death. What does it conjure up in your thoughts and feelings? Most people fear it, run away from it, and sometimes actually kill themselves by the word fear of death, death of fear. It's incredible when we realize the power that we hold inside. Even this morning, I'm learning. Words are spells. So I'm going to train myself never to say the word hello again, but change it to hi. Hi meaning high vibration. Hell, oh, is not what I want to say to anybody. HELL is not in my vocabulary anymore. So every day I realize that words are spells. Constantly in my life, I've seen many people who have been attracted to me by way of negative. Everything's going to go wrong. We can't afford. I hate this. I'm never going to be that. I can't ever deserve that. And I realized that being in the company of those people, I created that very same energy in my life. There is something in this that most people just do not see. Your words create your path. Your thoughts create whatever you're feeling. So I decided to say goodbye to those people. And that is a hard thing to do. However, once you have the strength and the power to say no to those people, it instantly creates an energy of yes inside you. By saying no to others, you say yes to yourself. It may sound a cliche, it may sound selfish, but you will never break free from all patterns if you just constantly are a people pleaser. And thus, people pleasing always ends up where you become an emotional punch bag, not for others, but for yourself. So these are the things, these are the golden nuggets of truth that we need to allow into our lives, accept, and then learn to unlearn all of those things that we believed was the right thing to do. So changing our life is something that frightens so many people. Why? Because people see fear within change. People see change as an unknown entity, which more often than not brings joy, happiness, excitement, fulfillment, inner peace, and healing. However, the brain is a very calculated energy. If it cannot see, if there is no fact, if there is no memory, then it will always tell you to fear, go into a kind of hibernation mode, or tuck yourself underneath the sheets until that thought has gone. So in truth, the brain will always hijack your path. I think some of my most amazing moments of magic in my life was when I decided not to think, but simply be and flow and do without fear. Fear stops us from everything good. Fear stops our healing. Fear stops our joy. So these are the golden nuggets that I hope to share over the next few months. How to see the signs is today's topic. This is an interesting subject. I started my path at 38 years old, seeing signs for the first time. I often question myself and say, did I actually ever see signs prior to 38 years old? And the truth is, I did, but I chose not to follow through. We all see signs every day, but we choose not to focus on them signs. And I think today is a great day for you to focus on them signs. And why should you? And it's a great question. Following signs, which I believe are the universes, the cosmos, your family and spirit, it's their way of navigating you towards the path of enlightenment, joy, happiness, and the magic that is always there right in front of you. I sometimes feel sad because I look back now on the first beginning of this path, of the signs that I saw, and now it becomes a normal, everyday thing. Whereas at the beginning, there was so much magic to it. There was so much excitement. There was so much realization that there is more to life than eating, drinking, sleeping, and working. So, what are the signs? How do I see them? Is it possible? Is it true? The name The Accidental Psychic came to me when many people around me were saying, how's that possible? After I shared a story with them. And I'm saying, I don't know. And then eventually people would say, do you know what? You're the accidental psychic. And I thought about it and thought, yeah, it is all an accident. 20 years on now, and I realize there's no such thing as accidents. Everything is exactly as it should be. There are many ways to see the signs. There are psychological ways, which is not really how I see things or I want to see things. That's a different energy. In fact, sometimes I see that as a real stumbling block along the journey of seeing the true signs. So what do you mean by that, Mark? Paul McKenna is a hypnotherapist, a showman, very intelligent guy, very sharp. And his idea of the signs, the spirit world, and all that we attune to is nothing more than a lie. The way he interprets it is, if I say to you yellow car, then every day from then on you will see yellow cars. Why? Because you're looking for them. That is not how I see this. I don't ask you to look for the signs at all. I ask you to be aware, to be open, to just simply be, and let the signs come to you. There is a difference if you want to see it that way. I was sat down one morning crying. I'd upset my then wife by not paying attention to her, and she was sad. And I went to the park and I sat down and I said, why is it that because I'm doing this work now, helping people, why is it that I am now upsetting my wife? Surely what I'm doing should make her happy. Surely knowing all that I'm doing in this world now to help individual people heal from IBS, strengthen themselves and clear cancer, help people from depression and suicidal thoughts, surely there should be some reward that at least my friends and my wife will see and understand. And at that time, I lost many friends and it was a struggle. At that very given moment, from nowhere, above my head, into my hand, fell a white feather. I kid you not. I looked at this little feather and I heard the words, everything is as it should be. Each soul has their journey. Each soul has their experience. Each soul needs to learn their path and understand their journey to strengthen their weaknesses. The words kept flowing. At the end of that conversation, which was a one-way conversation, I understood that People's pains are not mine. People's reactions are not mine. We are all individual, and the pains that we feel are simply something that we need to strengthen within ourselves. The feather that landed in my hand was a sign. I didn't look for a feather. I didn't ask for a feather. And simply the sign appears when needed. There's been many signs in my life, signs that come in various smells that remind me of a very special person or a very special moment. Sounds that may be of animals that remind me, trigger a feeling. Music that just opens up a door of emotions. It could be a book that I'm reading, going through 100 pages and then hitting 101. Third paragraph, the sentence reads and then blows me away. I could be sitting next to somebody, overhearing a conversation. I could be with a friend and they start to speak and something just blows me away. The list goes on, but the signs are always there. The signs are there, but depending on how you are feeling, how your health, how your energy, how your emotions are, determine whether you feel, hear, and see the signs. So, the first golden nugget of truth is, how do you see your signs? You need to work on yourself, your health and well-being, and the signs will follow. Never look for signs. Never ask for them, because they're always there. You don't need to ask for anything. If you truly believe that the universe is all-seeing and all-knowing, like I know it is, then they already know what you're asking. They already know what you need before you even know yourself. Many times things happen in our life and we wonder, how did that happen? I've come to understand now that those moments were created. Not in that moment. Not yesterday or the week before or the month before or even the year before. Those moments could have been created many, many years ago. And that is a golden nugget of truth. Remember again, everything, and I mean everything, is as it should be. Where you are now is exactly where you need to be. And thus you are hearing this podcast for the first time. There is no coincidence. There is no such thing as coincidence. Of course, you can look at somebody else and see that they're wearing red and you're wearing red. These are what we call coincidences. But I'm talking about the real moments where the word coincidence is used to hijack the truth. And it's these special moments of divine interactions that are always there. I choose to believe in magic. I choose to believe in another world watching over us and guiding us as far as our path allows. I choose to believe that everything I feel and see is part of the journey I created, I wrote before I came here. On the next podcast, we'll start to begin a path of how to see energy. And the following podcasts will be then how to heal. Once you're able to see and feel energy, it then takes you to how to heal yourself. And ultimately, my friends, the reason why you're here is to learn how to heal. Once you heal yourself, your energy turns into a lighthouse and shines so bright that it touches the world further than you could possibly imagine, thus creating miracles. And that magic we all deserve, that magic which is always around us. So let's unlearn. Let's begin a new day. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. In fact, you haven't even started living. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you on the next podcast. Take care, everybody. From the Accidental Psychic, from my heart to yours, have a beautiful day. Enjoy your signs.